So hello, today we'll continue with our discussion on thermodynamics. So this is your module 1 and this will be your third class on thermodynamics. Okay, so in the previous class we have already discussed about the properties, the thermodynamic properties, the thermodynamic process and the thermodynamic properties that defines a state, a thermodynamic state and also a thermodynamic system. So we have already discussed about these things, the various properties, the thermodynamic properties that define a thermodynamic system. So today we'll continue with our discussion and we'll discuss about what is the thermodynamic work, the concept of thermodynamic work and also about the quasi-static process. Okay, so let us start today's discussion. So now the basic definition of work is that when a force which acts on a body, the force acts on a body and the body also starts moving in the direction of the force, then we can say that work is done. Okay, when the force acts on a body and the body also moves along the direction of the force, then we can say that the work is done. But this is the concept of mechanical work, okay, which we have studied in mechanics. Okay, but in thermodynamics, this work transfer is defined in a different way. So, in mechanics, the work is defined as force into distance moved. So, work in mechanics, in mechanical work, is defined as force into distance moved. Okay, but in thermodynamics, this work transfer is considered as occurring between the system and surroundings. When there is an interaction between the system and surroundings, thermodynamic work, when there is interaction between system and surroundings. Okay, and the definition of work, as I will say it from the Professor Nag's book, that work is said to be done by a system if the sole effect of things external to the system can be reduced to raising of a weight. Okay, you can see this definition in P.K. Nag's book. Okay, now there are actually a system and its surroundings can interact in two ways. Okay, by work transfer and by heat transfer. Okay, so these are the two basic energy interactions that can bring about a change in the properties of a system. Okay, now this is the basic definition of work. Now we'll briefly discuss about this quasi-static process. Okay, now for describing this quasi-static process, what is the quasi-static process? Now suppose there is a cylinder. Okay, this is a cylinder and here is this piston. Okay, and suppose this piston is there are a number of weights being kept over here. Now this is suppose this is the state 1. It has the properties of P1 and V1. Now this system is in equilibrium. Okay, because the pressure of the gas over here, this gas over here, it is P1 and it balances the weight of this piston and the weights over here kept over here. So this system is in equilibrium at a state 1, which is defined by these properties. Okay, so these things can only be defined in a equilibrium state. Okay, it's P1 and V1. Okay, so now see this figure over here. Now when we remove these weights suddenly, now there is a to hold the piston so that the piston does not go beyond this position. Now this at state 1 it is in equilibrium with the surroundings. Now if we suddenly take out all these weights, if we remove these weights, then there will be a pressure imbalance. Okay, and this, due to this pressure imbalance, this system will no longer be in equilibrium, and this piston will move up suddenly and will go to this position at 2. Okay, and this is being defined as specified by P2 and V2. So this is the suppose the final state. Now if we do not remove all these weights suddenly, and if we remove these weights gradually, see this figure, we have removed only this weight. So again there will be pressure difference, but not as much as this figure. So the piston will move up and will attain a new equilibrium state. Okay, but this will not go over here, because the pressure difference will be much less than this state, than at this state. Okay, because only we have weight a single weight, only we have removed a single weight. Now at this position, suppose the pressure P1 dash, suppose this is specified by P1 dash, so P1 dash will be P1 minus dP, and the volume V1 dash will be V1 plus, see it has increased, it has moved outward, so V1 dash is equal to V1 plus dP. Now if we gradually remove these weights, this piston will move slowly upwards at infinitely small steps, and we are removing the weight such that the piston is being limited to move in infinitesimally small steps to reach the final state, as is shown over here. Okay, now all these intermediate states, there will be a number of steps like this one, and these intermediate steps will also be at equilibrium with the surroundings. Okay, now these states are in equilibrium, I have already said, because these properties like P and V, okay, these properties are significant, and they can be defined only at equilibrium states. Now you see that this from here to here, this process is taking place in the infinitesimal or large number of steps which are also in equilibrium. Okay, suppose this at a step it moves a small distance. After moving this small weight, suppose it moves a small distance, say dl amount of distance. Okay, so the work done will be this work done will be F into dl, because the force F is acting on the piston. Okay, so F force into displacement. Now suppose at any intermediate step we have considered that this pressure is P1 dash. Now suppose this P1 dash, okay, now suppose this P1 dash is equal to P. Okay, so the force will be P into the cross sectional area of the piston, that is A. So PA into dl. Okay, now this ADL. Okay, so this ADL is the infinitesimal displacement volume. Suppose this is displaced by a small amount, is represented by this dotted line. Okay, so this area you can see over here, this area, dotted area over here, so this is the displacement volume. This is given by this ADL. Okay, so the work done from suppose position 1 to 2, when the piston moves from position 1 to position 2, from position 1 to position 2, the volume changes from V1 to V2, and the amount of work done, it will be done by integrating all this small work done from this large number of intermediate steps. So when we integrate this from V1 to V2, it is given by this PA into DL, or ADL you can write as is equal to dV, small volume displacement. PdV. Okay, so this is the expression for the work done by the system. Now when we represent it in a two-dimensional plane, which is being defined by these two properties, okay, pressure and volume. Now suppose this is the state 1. Now this is, suppose this final state 2, and from 1 to 2 it take there is an infinitesimal or large number of steps, large number of equilibrium states between 1 and 2. Okay, like this. So there is a large number of steps between 1 and 2. So this state is P1 V1, and this is state 2 is defined by P2 and V2. So this type of process can be specified. So the process can be specified provided all the intermediate states are in equilibrium. Okay, so this type of process is known as quasi-static process or almost static process. Quasi-static means almost static. Okay, so these small intermediate steps are being defined like this. Okay, large number of processes. Okay, so this system can be defined only when there is an infinitesimal change in the properties of the system. So the system departs from one state and moves to the next intermediate step. It departs from one state and moves to the next intermediate step. Just like suppose the example of a very old man who moves in a street, okay, holding a stick in his hand. You can imagine the process in that manner. Okay. So the most important point I want to say is that when there is a thermodynamic process, that is being performed by a system, and we represent this in this two-dimensional plane. When we represent this type of processes performed by a system in a two-dimensional plane, so we consider this type of process as a quasi-static, okay, or quasi-equilibrium, or a reversible process. Okay, we have to consider this while solving various problems, thermodynamic problems. Okay, so this is the most important point in this explanation. So this integration which I have shown, this can only be performed in a quasi-static path. Performed in a quasi-static path. Okay. Now another topic that we will discuss is about the concept of energy transfer. The thermodynamic concept of energy transfer. Thermodynamic concept of energy transfer. So energy can be defined in two ways. So it can be defined in two ways, that when energy as a path function and as a point function. As a point function and when as a path function. Okay. Okay, so this can be defined as point function like property of a system. Okay, so this type of energy is, the example is the energy in storage. So here energy in storage, which means that the system can store energy. Suppose a gas, example is a mass of a gas. At a high temperature, mass of a gas at a high temperature. So the mass of the gas at high temperature, the energy that is being stored is also known as the internal energy that is stored within the system. Okay, and also another example is the chemical energy. Okay, like the chemical energy of a fuel. Okay, the energy is being, that is stored in the form of the molecules. Okay, bonds, they are being bound to release energy, so that is also stored as internal energy. So precisely what you want to say, that the internal energy, which is the energy that is being stored within a system, okay, by virtue of the bonds present in the molecules, okay, etc. So this internal energy is actually a property of a system, and this is a path function. So now this path function is the, now you come to path function. So path function is actually the energy which is in transit, energy in transit, or that is the energy that is being exchanged between the system and the surroundings. Okay, so this is the energy in transit that is being exchanged. Now this energy in transit can be again divided into two types: work transfer and heat transfer. Now briefly saying about this point function, this point function are such properties that any change in the thermodynamic property of a system, okay, so any change in the property of a system due to the change in state, which is independent of the path the system follows during the change in state. Okay, so the change in this property, the change in property does not depend upon the path. Okay, so this is in general about the does not depend upon the path. Does not depend upon the, this is the basic definition of the point function. Okay, and it only depends upon the initial and the final states of the system. So depends upon initial and final states of system. Okay, and these point functions, the differentials of these point functions, examples are this pressure, volume, temperature. Okay, examples are pressure, volume and temperature. Okay, so the differentials of the point functions are exact or perfect differential. So these are also the, suppose the integration of this dv from v1 to v2, it is simply even as v2 minus v1 and it does not depend upon the path. So this is also known as an exact differential. This is also known as exact or perfect differentials. Exact or perfect differential. Okay, on the other hand, come over here, that you have already described the quasi-static process, that the work done on the quasi-static process, which I have already shown over here. The work done by the quasi-static process, it depends on the path followed, and it not only depends on the final and the initial states. So see over here, this integration of this differential dw is not equal to w1 minus w2. Okay, so this type of differentials are known as the inexact differential. This type of differentials are known as inexact differential. Okay, so to distinguish an inexact differential from an exact differential, what is being done, that the inexact differential, this is being cut at the top like this. dw is being represented by this dw and is cut at the top. Okay, so the examples of this path functions are the work transfer, heat transfer and all these things. Okay, so over here I have shown that energy in transit is work and heat. So heat is being energy that is being transferred by virtue of its temperature differential. Okay, energy transferred by virtue of its temperature differential. So it moves along the direction of the negative temperature gradient. So and all other examples of this energy transfer are work transfer, except that by virtue of its temperature difference. Okay, so this is the discussion for today. We will continue with our discussion on the other different types of work transfer, which we will discuss in the next process. So thank you.